RDL. Now, this is possibly the simplest form of our RDL movement and the go-to exercise for when we're trying to teach someone our hinge pattern through our hips. So what we need is a stick. Now this could be a broomstick, this could be a piece of PVC, it could be multiple things, but we need it to be quite stiff and relatively long. Once we've got that implement, what we're going to do is we're going to place it down our back with one hand up the top and the other hand grabbing the bottom of the dowel. Now our hand placement wants to be the top hand just resting against the back of our head and the bottom hand resting at the top of our glutes or our butt or just right on our tailbone. So from there, the stick should be touching our head. It should be touching my shoulders in the middle of my upper back, and it should be touching my tailbone. From there, we want to set our feet up. So our feet are hip width or shoulder width apart. We don't want to go too wide. We want to keep them relatively narrow. Then we go a soft bend in our knees. So this is here, we're locked out. We want to just break our knees and go to a soft bend. Nice tall chest. Now, because of the stick, we're forced to have our proud chest because we need to be touching our shoulders and our head. So immediately I have to pull my shoulders back to allow the stick to touch my upper back. So that gets us our proud chest, which is why it's such a great way to teach the hinge. This will prevent, ideally, the rounding through our upper and also lower back as we hinge over. So my feet are set up at hip width apart. I have a soft bend in my knees. My shoulders are pulled back in my proud chest position. From there, I'm going to drop my nose towards the floor and I'm going to push my butt towards the wall behind me, leaning over nice and slowly until I feel like I can't get any deeper because my hamstrings have lengthened, and then I'm going to come back up. So take notice as I bend over here, my knees don't bend, it's all through the hips. So I set that soft bend in my knees, and then it stays that way. I come over. The stick is still touching my tailbone, my shoulders and my head, and then I come back up slowly. Now this can be a difficult movement pattern to master, so be patient with it, keep practicing. If we need, we can stand up against the wall so that as I go back, I have to bend through my hips because the wall prevents me from bending through my knees because I can't go back any further. And then once we feel like we've mastered this, then we would move on to a weighted implement, or we would place the stick across our knees or our legs even before that, and then practice our proud chest because the stick's not there to remind ourselves anymore. Practice our proud chest, pressing that stick into our legs, keeping it close to our body, practicing our RDL or hinge pattern as such before we then move on to a weighted RDL.